Hello class, this is our group presentation about the 1990s, a shift in fashion and culture, created by Miss Isabella Estrella, Tori Turner, Haley James, and myself, Matthew Hardwick. A general overview. Starting with television, the 90s produced some of the best shows that are still watched today. These shows were and are so widely popular that they made some of the biggest celebrities. Just to name a few, The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, Saved by the Bell, Friends, Seinfeld, and many more. These shows played a part in almost everything to come, and also the fashion at the time. The music of the 90s consisted of a lot of rap music, but not solely rap music. Gangsta rap basically took over the industry, becoming the best-selling music genre of the time. Music platforms like MTV were such a huge part of that industry. It allowed artists to get their music out there and rise to fame. Some of those consisted of Nirvana, Dr. Dre, the Spice Girls, and so much more. Technology was also ramping up, becoming more and more complex. Telephones, computers, and more were all being made much simpler. People were starting to purchase more personal computers, laptops, and desktops. The very first web browser was put to use in 1993, a time when few people had access to the internet. Politics of the 90s were also ever-changing. Bill Clinton was rising to fame in more than one way. Politically, he was negotiating peace overseas, and socially, he was becoming known for his involvement with Monica Lewinsky. That scandal took over almost all of the media outlets, leading to his impeachment. However, he was then acquitted by the Senate, and he finished out his term. The wars stayed overseas, but there was still a handful of tragedies occurring on the home front. The World Trade Center was bombed in 1993, and the Oklahoma City bombing took place in 1995. Both events sparked an interest in terrorism and how to tackle the issue. U.S. embassies in Kenya and also Tanzania were bombed by Al-Qaeda in 1998, which pushed the United States to launch missile attacks on Al-Qaeda bases in Afghanistan. All countries were dealing with some kind of war and/or political conflict. 90s fashion icons. Mr. Kurt Cobain. He was born on February 20th, 1967, in Aberdeen, Washington. Kurt Cobain started the band Nirvana in 1988, and in 1991, the band signed with Geffen Records. Kurt Cobain had a very nonchalant approach to fashion. Cobain was known for his grunge style. He wore different textures and colors, along with graphic t-shirts, vintage, worn-out denim jeans, and oversized sweaters. Cobain wore pieces from both menswear and womenswear. Another staple for Kurt was flannels. He wore a lot of vintage flannels over vintage sweaters or t-shirts. His look was the opposite of the 1980s flashy style. Kurt Cobain set the ball in motion for a radical, millennial idea of androgyny. Cobain had a slouchy silhouette. He wore oversized torn sweaters very often. He was known for wearing oversized round sunglasses, which were the Christian Roth series 6558s. These glasses in particular have made their way into 2017 fashion, with celebrities like Lil Yachty, Migos, and many more being seen wearing them. Here we can see Kurt Cobain being Kurt Cobain. Aaliyah. Aaliyah Houghton was an American singer, actress, and model born in Brooklyn, New York, and raised in Detroit, Michigan. Aaliyah's fashion was heavily influenced by urban fashion and can be described as being effortlessly cool. She frequently wore baggy pants, sports bras, gold hoop earrings, basketball jerseys, bandanas, and baseball hats. She could be seen sagging her pants and wearing her hats backwards, which was typically a trend seen with men. Aaliyah switched between baggy menswear to feminine outfits. She wore cargo pants and crop tops, as well as tracksuits, to popularize the athleisure look. Aaliyah wore boxers and showed off the elastic band with low-rise jeans, which celebrities like Kendall Jenner have drawn inspiration from in recent years. These are some of Aaliyah's many looks that she had throughout the 90s. And last but certainly not least, we have Will Smith. He was born on September 25th, 1968 in West Philadelphia. Will Smith first launched his rapping career at the age of 16, and then later on launched his acting career, which would lead him to become a Hollywood A-lister. Will Smith played a character named Will on The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air in the 90s. The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air allowed audiences to see hip-hop culture as being non-threatening and created a bold new identity. His fashion was inspired by the Afrocentric style that was popularized in the 80s. His style combined both hip-hop and street. His outfits included Jordan shoes, baseball caps, bright neon colors, oversized sweaters, and large pockets. Patterned harem pants were a staple as well as colored patterned shirts. Today, artists like Tyler the Creator wear bright and eccentric patterned outfits inspired by Will Smith's character on The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. These are some of his many styles. Some of the fashion trends of the 1990s. We had choker necklaces. The beaded choker of the hipper era and plastic tattoo chokers of the 1990s could be worn with low-rise pants and baby tees. And bike shorts athletic wear was very popular in the 90s. Bike shorts were worn with sports bras, hoodies, and leotards. Both guys and girls wore this trend. Birkenstocks were extremely popular in the 1990s. Their earthy look fit in with the low maintenance, grunge style, and hippie feel of the era. It was the universal, comfortable sandal that anyone could wear. And with jean cutoffs, they would usually appear raggedy, worn, and casual. After people cut their jeans and made them personally dressed, it became a new trend. By the end of the 90s, cutoffs were being sold at stores and were already cut, fringed, and looking worn, before they had even ever actually been worn. In 1994, the grunge fashion style was very popular. This style included plaid, flannel, browns, greens, and indigos. For hairstyles, instead of short hair, it was traded with messy and wavy hair. Tight jeans were out, and loose ripped jeans were in. Shoes were thick-soled and chunky, like Doc Martens, or work boots. Shirts were big and batty, denim or plaid. Bandanas were also quite versatile, and could make any outfit a little bit edgier than it may have looked before. All of the rock wannabes started to sport the head accessory. Many of the style headbands were the skull cap, the top knot, the boho vibe, and styled on the body. In the 90s, the tank tops were mostly spaghetti straps. Other tank top styles that were worn were silk tank tops. To the right, we can see differing grunge styles that you had in the 90s, as well as a tank top that was worn by Cameron Diaz. And we can't forget the iconic bandana that Mr. Tupac Shakur would sport almost always. We're excited. Alright class, well this was our presentation about the 1990s. We hope you enjoyed it, because it was certainly a blast to make. See you later.